from Action on ULEZ, done great work with Phil and the others. We're all in London and we can see you. Big noise! And Nick's going to say some words.
Hello, everybody. If you know me, you know I'm not much of a speaker, so I'm not going to stand here and say a great deal today. I just want to thank everybody, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, everybody that has come, everybody that has got off their bums and come out today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The only thing I would say, in fact, I'm going to have to swear, I'm going to have to use a swear word here, is democracy, okay? Because apparently that is a swear word these days with our political classes. So the fact that you're all here today, maybe they'll actually open their eyes and see what is happening. As I say, I'm not a speaker. There's loads of people that are going to talk to you today, much more oh shit, I can't even say it, more eloquent than me, okay? So just enjoy yourselves and enjoy. Thank you, thank you. I'll give you back to Alan, okay?
Thank you, Nick. Big shout to Nick.
Phil and the whole team have been putting this all together. Amazing work.
Next, quickly, Kingsley Hamilton.
Hi guys and girls, thank you for coming. Give yourselves a big cheer.
This isn't about me.
Okay, you are the people who need to fight this. Don't keep waiting for all of us lot to do stuff. You've got to fight. Bring the fight here, that's great, but you've got to take that fight back to your friends. You've got to take that. There's no point me standing up here telling you how ULEZ is terrible. You already know that. You've got to talk to other people and you've got to get them to understand what's going on. ULEZ is just a small part. We've got road user charging later. But the point is, you've got to spread the word. Scare the hell out of it. Give us
Everyone, I'm going to start. I was going to do a little speech, but I'm actually going to. It's one of the things that they always say to us when we're campaigning. What people in London and ULEZ, he calls us loads of names, doesn't he, Sadiq Khan? He says, oh, all those people, the conspiracists, the far right, Nazis now, right? Nazis. But what that means is it reflects a lack of an ability to discuss. Attempt for the public and an inability to explain 65%. From London, from outside London, we've got a great array of speakers. We've got councillors, MPs, but we've got people, friends, that are campaigning, like Mark from King's Heath in Birmingham. We've got people from Manchester. We've got people that have come from Wales, in solidarity with Londoners and those outside of London. Show them support, big round of applause to them. Hey! Now, just in case we think they're all these so-called names, I'm going to give you a few quotes from a couple of people. One is that really, really radical person, Lord Moylan. So Lord Moylan, about ULEZ in the House of Lords, that was a joke, the first bit, by the way. Right? Lord Moylan couldn't be here today, but he did want to say this to us all. He said with ULEZ, you cannot do this to the people. You cannot do this to the people, naughty Norris. You cannot do this to the people without letting them have their say. Thank you, Lord Moylan, absolutely. Now, I'm going to read something. We've got a lot of people that are residents. I'm reminded, and citizens, and I'm very proud of being a citizen. I'm reminded of the levellers and the diggers. 375 years ago, who insisted on their democratic rights, on their freedom, on their ability to represent themselves, to be represented. I'm reminded of the Chartists. I'm reminded in this hallowed land, this hallowed ground, of people who've come and spoke around issues of freedom. And this is a fight of our generation and of our times, where technocrats want to impose things on us without asking us, telling us to be quiet. We know what's best for you. We're going to do it anyway regardless. And we're saying, no, you can't. What are we saying? No, you can't. Now, this is from Baroness Fox. I've got 2 more quotes, and I'm going to get you on to the next speaker, which is, we're very lucky, we've got Howard Cox from FairFuel, and we're going to be telling you guys something live, very exciting. I'm really excited about all this. So Claire Fox, Baroness Claire Fox, also from the House of Lords, she says, policies that show contempt for everyday lives of drivers shows the growing gap between politicians and the public. Worse, they have the nerve to demonise engaged citizens who dare to say no. Eco-washing policies are threatening livelihoods and making the most mundane journeys an expensive nightmare. Effectively, green austerity measures. Worse, the ever-expanding ULEZ threatens the freedom associated with driving, being free to drive wherever we want for whatever reason we choose, without being answerable to those in power. Good luck in the fight. Thank you, Baroness Fox. Thank you. They're just down the road, the House of Lords. We've got people from Parliament, we've got MPs, we've got councillors, and we've got citizens. So just the last one now I'm going to read, and then I'm going to introduce you to Howard Cox. He doesn't need an introduction. He's always in the media. He's in the press. This is Richard Parnham from Oxford. Oxford have done a valiant fight for the last 2 years, 2.5 years. They've been fighting, they've been campaigning. They stood in the election locally. They have been doing great work. Let's big shout out to Oxford. Here we go. Richard Parnham says, reconnecting Oxford stands in solidarity with all those fighting ULEZ in London. As we all know, schemes such as ULEZ and Oxford's planned zero emission zone, which is even more restrictive than ULEZ, is nothing to do with fighting pollution. Instead, these schemes are a blatant tax grab by out-of-touch politicians who are determined to make life an expensive nightmare for car drivers across the country. Thank you, Oxford. Thank you, Richard. I'm going to hand over in just a second. We've got amazing speakers today. I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you for joining us on the live stream. Do join us if you want to help campaign around the country. And now, our next guest is, I'm really pleased to introduce the next guest, because Howard Cox has been fighting a fight for 13 years with FairFuel. Millions of signatories. He's always a voice. He always makes me feel a bit old. He's got so much energy and enthusiasm. He's got a lot of courage, even when people come out with a name-calling thing. And we're really pleased that Howard is one of our partners in all of this, and he's here today. Howard Cox, over to you.
Well, what an introduction. I think one of the first things I'd say to you is welcome to Sadiq Khan's little Starleg zone. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, welcome to Sadiq Khan. That's what I was saying. Did you hear that? Yeah, okay. Well, just to let you know, FairFuelUK has been campaigning for the last 13 years, and we managed to get a freezing fuel duty in that time. We've even got a 6p cut. If we hadn't have done that, you'd be paying £3 at the pumps. That's what Gordon Brown left this Tory government with. But even the Tory government were going to keep this thing called a fuel price escalator. You remember that? And obviously, it would have actually destroyed our economy and we would have been in recession. What? Declaration, really delighted. And they're fantastic and give you all your support. If you haven't joined yet, please join. All donations we must have to keep fighting, because we are up against an incredibly well-financed green operation, and that's the truth I get all the time. So guess what? If I came to you and said to you something along the lines of, I've got this great idea, you can bring in your allegedly dirty diesel, your dirty petrol, but hey, you have to pay for the privilege. Now, if he really cared about the environment, he'd ban the car completely, wouldn't he? So this is truly cash grabbing, only cash grabbing, and what's happening is the government down the road here, and I spoke to Keir Starmer as well, the opposition leader, I said, why have you still got Sadiq Khan in the Labour Party? He's lying to people, he's lying to the London Assembly, he ordered the cameras before the public consultation, he excluded 5,000 FairFuelUK people who took part in that, who objected to ULEZ expansion. All those sorts of things, and yet he's still in London Mayor. Well, 14 months' time, there's a vote to get rid of him. And I can tell you now that I'm considering standing as London Mayor to fight him. Well, yeah, so watch out for your in-trays, they're coming in with me begging for money to try and fight them. But seriously, though, I am considering this. I'm talking to a lot of people. There are 3 political parties that have asked me to stand. Which one I don't know yet. But I can't take this anymore. I'm 69 years of age now, and so I'll be 70 next year. I'm quite happy to give it to 75 to get rid of this and put London back at the centre of the world as the best capital city in the world. Thank you very much, John. And don't forget to sign up to FairFuelUK.com as well. That's free. Take care. Cheers.
Right, guys, we're just going to move these speakers out because we clearly are having difficulty at the back. Bear with us 1 second. And as we do that, if someone can help on that side, and then just be careful of the join us. Just move it around. This is Norris Windross on the exec board and the steering group together. Big shout out to Mr. Norris Windross, fellow freedom fighter, DJ, producer extraordinaire. So we're going to get this out, and we're going to make sure there's no feedback. One more, can someone move this one as well, please? Can someone help us? So we can get it out. Just, is it connected to the thing? Just take it off, just cut it, there we go. The next guest we've got, I'm really excited. Tony Buxton's here. Hey! Tony Buxton in the house! Great. The next guest, I'm really pleased and I'm very grateful that he's joined us today. We've got someone who's very funny and is a freedom fighter and a campaigner, but he's also a comedian. He's also a writer, very witty. I want you give a big London and outside and international warm welcome for Mr. Dominic Frisby.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and despite being a comedian, I have absolutely nothing to represent all Londoners. But he is not interested in your concerns if they're different to his. You are just an enemy. Like a devious and conniving solicitor, he is the master conflator, dealing in half-truths, in fabrication and deceit. London is the greatest city in the world, he says, but look at what it's become under his watch, the knife crime capital of the world. Locals are priced out, taxed into oblivion, and then besmirched if they dare speak out. How is buying a brand new electric car that requires tons and tons of cobalt and lithium and copper and nickel and other metals you don't even know the names of, neodymium and dysprosium, which means tank after tank of oil has to be burnt, never mind all the coal, sending black plumes into the air, risking lives, often children's lives, in some far-flung corner of the planet. Then the ecological cost of transporting it to China, Chinese factories and back. How is that more environmentally friendly than simply keeping the car that you already have? How is that green? The environmental movement has been hijacked by crony capitalism. People ask, what is our system of rule? Is it a democracy when a mayor can impose new taxes with no democratic mandate? Is it a bureaucracy? Is it a kleptocracy? I'll tell you what it is. Our system of rule is a hypocrisy. London is open, he says. No, it isn't. He's literally closing it down. And what will he use this money he collects from you for, this new tax money for? More waste, more stupid schemes that impinge on your freedom, more imposition of the calm world view, more rainbow flags on the tubes, more planning, more bureaucracy, more corruption, more state. The state will keep on growing. It is always growing. And if you dare speak out against, you're a far-right racist, homophobe, fascist, sexist, conspiracy theorist, bigot. Sadiq Khan hates you. And he hates the English, and he will not rest until the London that we once knew and loved has totally gone. And that is all you need to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic. And do get down to Comedy Unleashed. I would recommend Comedy Unleashed. We're very good friends with them. Brilliant stuff. It's free speech, brains and rules there with some brilliant comedians. Thank you, Dominic. Next up, we've got someone who's been making the news a lot on this issue. He's been very vocal, and you're all going to know him. Let's have a very, very big warm round of applause for Peter Fortune, Bexley, and the London Assembly, Mr. Peter Fortune.
Hello, morning. Look at all of you, that's fantastic. Well done for coming up this morning. Do you know what? We've had a good week. Who saw the news about the JR decision proceeding to the next stage? So I want to start with a quick tribute to those boroughs. Harrow, Hillingdon, Surrey, and then my own beautiful boroughs of Bexley and Bromley, the Rebel Alliance. Let's give them a big round of applause. I would also like to especially mention the leader of Bromley Council, Councillor Colin Smith, who's here today. He was driving a lot of this work around the jail. Let's give him a round of applause. He's just over there. And then I want to pay tribute to you.
Yeah, I'm listening.
You have stood up bravely. You've fought back. You've stood proud and said, no, we are not going to accept this. We are going to turn up and fight. So my last tribute to start is to all of you. Well done and thank you. Now, we all know what Sadiq Khan thinks of you. He thinks you're far right. He thinks you're conspiracy theorists. He thinks you're tin hat wearing crazy people. But that's not what I see here. What I see here are hard-working Londoners worried about their jobs, worried about looking after their families, worried about visiting friends and family. I see the real London here, and Sadiq Khan does not see you. We know what he thinks of you. We know what he thinks of you. So let me ask you, why he's coming after your money? That's why he's expanding the ULEZ zone. That's why he's going to charge you to visit a hospital. That's why he's going to charge you to go to work. And it's just the start, because when that goes in, he will move to a road user charging model. Who here wants Sadiq Khan monitoring where they drive each day? Because I don't. So in 12 months' time, we can get rid of this man. And I know that in the crowd today, there'll be one or two people who are thinking about putting themselves forward as a mayoral candidate. And I say this to you. If you want to put yourself forward to be Mayor of London, make this commitment. Day one, those cameras come down. No ifs, no buts. Day one of the new mayor's term, those cameras come down. We know what the mayor thinks of you. Let's tell him what we
1, 2, here we go. Yes, we are live. Well done, Paul. By the way, everyone, this is Paul Rodriguez, who does all our live streams. He's between Paul and Rob Tyson. You can see it's not me keeping us going with the tech. Alan. Right. On that note, I just want to say one thing, right? I met this next speaker a while ago when the times they were changing and they were very different. And she has been consistently brave and courageous in the media when a lot of people just was be quiet, get on with it, or champion things that they didn't even know what they were talking about. Well, Tanya Buxton has been very vocal. She's put herself on the line. She lost some gigs in the media, but she's got some new gigs. And she really represents what it means to have principles and stand by what you do. And we're very pleased today that Tanya Buxton's come to speak to us. No to you, Les. Big round of applause, Tanya Buxton.
Thank you, Ellen. What a lovely thing to say. And I was lucky enough to meet Ellen and become one of the first signatories of the Together Declaration. And they kept me sane during the time where I thought I was losing my mind during lockdown. And we fought during lockdown. We got rid of vaccine mandates. We're going to get rid of this too. We'll just watch us. Because Sadiq Khan, this whole thing about caring about the air for the children is a big load of rubbish, as far as we all know it's rubbish, because he didn't care about children during lockdown, did he? Not at all, so he doesn't care now. It's all about two things. It's about making serious amounts of money off the poor, hard-working British people. That's all he cares about. Closing down the businesses of small businesses, closing down the people that really want to work hard and keep Britain great. And the second one is about control. He wants to control where you're allowed to go. He wants you to pay per mile eventually to go and see the people that you love, to live the life that you want to lead. He calls us fascists. And yet look at what he does. He is the greatest living fascist as far as I'm concerned. So thank you all for coming, but we've got to do more. Join the Together Declaration, send letters to your MPs, send letters to your councils, stand up. I've been hearing that people have been doing these illegal things of breaking down, is it gone again? Can you hear me? Yeah. Kind of getting rid of all the cameras. Well, I mean, I don't condone illegal action, but was it Lord Sumption that said, when the law is wrong and immoral, then it's your chance to do the right thing? That's all I'm saying. Let's stay together. We can beat this. We can beat it together. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. What are we saying, Lembit? Are we saying no to you, Les? Mike, you can hear the mic. I can hear the mic from here. Yeah, I know. So our next speaker, yeah, your one's better than my one. Okay. So I know, just to say, I know there's a little bit of frustration with some of the audio, and I apologise for that. The sound guys are around the corner, but we're doing the best we can. And next time we're going to do a much bigger one with much bigger audio. So bear with us, but we are live. You will be able to catch up, and you lot are making a fantastic noise already. So good. So the next speaker, everyone will know. He's very well known. I'm just going to bring him on. It's Shaun Bailey. Big round of applause for Shaun Bailey.
First of all, thank you so much for coming out today, because of course you could have been sat at home on the sofa doing nothing else. Listen, I just want to talk to you about the ULEZ. 2 years ago when I ran for Mayor of London, I said to everybody, let's oppose the expansion of the problem with Sadiq Khan. You give him an inch and he'll take a mile. And this is just the beginning of the costs that he has planned for us. Let's make no mistake, this is a tax on Londoners, this is a tax on jobs, this is a tax on your families. There's people in London now who simply won't be able to go and see mum, won't be able to get into work, will have to change jobs because they can't afford a car. So that's why I've come here today to say two things to you. Firstly, let's keep it civil so he can't accuse us of stuff and take the focus off of his poor running of London. The minute something goes wrong, he says that we're wrong, that we're misbehaving. But we behave better than him, and he's lied to us. I'll repeat those words. He's lied to us for the last 7 years. It's time that we take action. So I'm really happy to see you here. And the second thing is, let's keep going. My colleagues, and here we go. My colleagues on the GLA and some council leaders have really put their head above the parapet and taken Sadiq Khan to court. And unbelievably, they've managed to get him into court. Now let's all hope and pray. Let's all hope and pray that we actually win. But the people who've really made the difference, the people who've really pushed this along, is you. I want you to give yourself a round of applause. You're why we've got so far. Because when my colleagues started, when the councils got involved, it's because so many of you wrote in. So the last thing I want to say is God bless you all. I hope you and your family do well today and every day. And let's keep going. We can beat Sadiq Khan, we can beat the ULEZ, and we can make London a better and safer place to live. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Shaun Bailey. No, that's not working. It's a little juggle, isn't it? So, also the next guest isn't going to need much introduction because, and I know if someone's having a little giggle out there, it is very funny, but a load of people, if you wanted to say that you thought we were wrong, if they're playing around with the radio waves, you can just say we're wrong and you can explain your arguments, but all those silly little tampering things aren't really that good. And that's the thing. We think it together that the main thing is that we get to discuss and debate these ideas out in public honesty, that we get to have our voices heard. We're not children, well, some of us are kids, but we're not children, right? We are able to make up our own minds and discuss the merit and the virtue of things, right? And we are not going to be treated with contempt by technocrats and the elected elite who think that they don't have to listen to us and just do things to us. So, on that note, very well known on YouTube and across social media, let's a big round of applause for the brown driver guy.
Hello everyone, how you all doing? Give me a cheer! Hey! So some of you will know me and some of you will wondering who's this guy on stage? Is this Sadiq Khan's brother? Well, I'm not Sadiq Khan's brother. I mean, maybe a brother from another mother, but not really a brother of Sadiq Khan's. I am Shazad Sheikh. I'm the brown car guy. I'm a motoring journalist and content creator, and I've been covering the ULEZ expansion, the proposal for it, since May of last year. So big plug time. Head over to browncarguy.com. I've got a dossier, a compilation of all my content there. Everything you need to know about ULEZ. Click on it. Some of you will find it really useful. Some of you have already seen it. But the main thing for me was that as a motoring journalist, how do I come at this? What am I looking at here? And for me, it was very important to represent the voice of the motorist. And the motorist is you, me, anybody that drives, owns, or even rides in a car. We are all motorists, right? And the thing about motorists is the mainstream media is not representing the motorists, right? At best, they're ignoring it. At worst, they're vilifying us as nutters that hate the planet. And this is not true. So from the beginning, it was important for me to talk to you people. I've been to all of these Trafalgar Square protests. I've been to Orpington, I've been to Bromley, and I've talked to you guys, and I've talked about the real issues that you're facing, the real hardships in terms of losing your jobs, or not being able to get your jobs, or closing your businesses, or not being able to maintain your car, not being able to care for elderly relatives. All of these are real heart-wrenching issues. And for me, it was important to get these stories out there because nobody else is doing it. So that's what I've been trying to do. And I hope that in some small way, I've been able to do that. Thank you very much. And in fact, I want to hear from you guys now. Tell me, what do we want? Oh, he's in there, he's in there, he's in there. Oh, well, somebody had to go there, right? So listen, I've got to just touch on this point because I've had so much amazing feedback from you guys, so much support, and thank you so much for that. But every now and then somebody says he's doing this because he's brown, or because he's Asian, or because he's Muslim, right? Can I just tell you right now, categorically, you may have noticed, I'm also brown! And I'm also Muslim. And I'll tell you right now, this has got nothing to do with race or religion. This is to do with politics, it's to do with money, it's to do with stubbornness, it's to do with ego. Khan is doing this. Khan is doing this because he's a bad mayor, not because he's a brown mayor. I can tell you that right now. However, we have to give credit to Khan for one thing. Ask me what that is. What do we have? Look around you. Look at this. We've got people from all over London and beyond, from all walks of life, all backgrounds, all cultures, and we've all come together. Khan has united us. And you know, the wonderful thing about this is that it's us, it's the people. We make London the greatest city in the world. It's us. It's not the mayors, it's not the leaders, it's us. We do this, right? And you know what? Londoners don't like to have the wool pulled over their eyes, because if anybody tries to do that, we tell them, "Oh, stop it." What do we say? You guys are absolutely amazing. Thanks so much for coming out. I want to big up Alan for doing this. I also want to big up the regular team that has been putting these events together. We've got Chris, we've got Nick, we've got Warren, we've got Phil. Who have I missed? And Kingsley, of course, Kingsley. Brilliant Kingsley. The great team here. We've got the great team that have been doing these events. Round the big up, big respect. But most importantly of all, we've got you guys. Make sure also today that you greet one another and thank one another as well for coming here and showing your support and making sure that we keep up with this fight. Yes, the judicial review is going ahead, but don't rest on our laurels, because we've still got this fight and we've got the next fight, which is pay per mile. We're not letting off this. I'm not giving up. You mustn't give up. Thank you so much, everyone.
Right, everyone, just before we bring on our next speaker, we're going to have a little announcement. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me all right? Okay, the next event after this one, there's a convoy coming into London. It's coming from junction 11A on the M1 motorway on Wednesday, the 3rd of May. They're meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning. We set off at 10 on the dot. We're coming down the M1 motorway to Trafalgar Square, Parliament Square, BBC Studios, ITV Studios, and from there it'll disband from there. If you want to join the convoy group at Stop ULEZ Convoy on Facebook. Okay, it's got all the details, all the times at the junctions we're passing at certain times, so that you can join us at different junctions if you want. But the start is junction 11A on the M1 motorway. Let's make it big, let's roll into London, and let's show we're together.
Thank you very much. I'm going to read out a quote. This is from Edinburgh, from our friends. It's from Anne Roberts. A quick one from Edinburgh. Greetings from Together Edinburgh. We experienced significant traffic control in 2021 with the COVID Spaces for People initiative. It caused controversy and made other roads busier and more dangerous. Since 2022, we have a low emission zone with fines coming in June 2024. As part of Together Scotland, we are aware of what is coming and are joining in with all other local organisations to say no to this and to 20-minute and 15-minute neighbourhoods. This is all about generating income and surveillance on our citizens. As part of the Together Association, we are learning more about how to understand what is happening, to say no, and to bring back democracy and free our streets together. Yes, Edinburgh! And from Edinburgh to a borough that I used to live in once, I used to be in Shoreland, so it's that great. So we have now got Councillor for Bromley, Mr. Colin Smith. You all know about the JR, the Judicial Review.
Thank you. He must have had some money in his family, living in Shortlands. However, I am here today really to say thank you. I can't compete with Brown Car Guys or one of his own. You've done so well of late, you're helping us so much, and your support is building and building a momentum that frankly even a couple of months ago wasn't there. For those of us that have been arguing this for a long, long time now, for those of us that have been trying to get mainstream media and trying to get mainstream society to take this seriously, it's happening. You can feel it. It's growing. These protests, they've gone from 10 to 20 people. Just take a look around today. Just look how big this is and just sense the feeling. He can't ignore us anymore. That's what he's tried. He's tried ignoring us. He's tried ridiculing us. He's told us to go away, don't take out a JR, you're wasting your time. I'm right, do what you're told. And people are fed up with it. People are fed up being ignored and they're fed up being told what to do. They want to be listened to and they want to be heard. So my message, quite simply to you, is please, please, please keep on making yourselves heard. Please, please, please continue to pressure politicians. And I'm not going to wax lyrical on politics today, not the forum, but his weak spot, if he's got one, is fellow Labour politicians. They can see and feel and hear this as well. They are his weak spot. So if you've got a Labour councillor or a Labour council leader, let them know how unhappy you are, because I can tell you as an elected person, when your email box suddenly starts filling up with angry emails, it makes you sit up, think and listen, particularly when you're worried about your own majority. That's the nature of life and politics. So, the message going out from today is to thank you all for coming along. Please keep up your fight. I can tell you that the 4 London boroughs plus Surrey intend to drive this judicial review through to the end, and we travel in hope, we travel with a degree of expectancy, and we know we're in with a chance. Don't be told it's a pointless exercise. We are in there punching, we've got a chance to do this. Let's keep on it, keep politicians under pressure, and fingers crossed, we'll eventually be heard. My message to Khan at the end is you don't have to do this. You can still stop, still listen. You know that Outer London is in frankly uproar over this. Look very closely about what you're about to do, because you're going to be putting people out of business, you're going to be making people unemployed, and you're going to be endangering vital care networks that stop members of their family travelling a few miles to look after ageing parents and the like. So that's why this is important. Thank you, keep it up, and no to ULEZ!
Well, just one sec, we're just waiting for the next people to come through, and Alan's going to take over from me. Very much.
Next up, right, this is brilliant, right, because a few weeks ago we may not have had this next speaker on, but what the next speaker has actually demonstrated is what happens up and down the country when we get involved and we stand up and we ask difficult questions and we have our voices heard and we organise locally and we film it and we put it out on social media, and then it goes even further. So Mike Ball from Thetford in Norfolk has done all that. Big round of applause. And also we've got the guys from Lembit streaming as well on YouTube, and he's got a crew with him, and we know that it's inspiring because 13 people are standing independently, and we're saying no more, we're having our voices heard. We're going to put them all under pressure, everyone. Michael! Good afternoon, Trafalgar!
I'm not going to take this opportunity necessarily to talk about ULEZ, but I want to talk more personally, and I want to talk about you people. You can hear me now? Thank you. So calm, isn't it? He's here somewhere, I know he is.
He's got his scissors, he's cutting every wire he can, apart from cameras. Okay, yeah, no, I want to talk to you. I want to talk on a personal level so that we can get the motivation going and we can give thanks. Because I've got to be honest, when I look around and I think about the positive atmosphere, the media has tried to kill our positive atmosphere. They've pushed us, they've suppressed us, and they've caused us problems. But we people, the people that are here today, we haven't fell for it. We haven't fell for the deception. And we have no intention of falling for the deception. So from our point of view, we don't always find the time to actually come together and give congratulations and give inspiration to each other. But know what you're doing here today and behind the scenes with all the work that you do is absolutely fantastic. Without that inspiration and without that information, I wouldn't be here today. The reason being is, it was your rallying around, your awareness of ULEZ, which led me to look at 20-minute zones, the LTN to 15-minute cities. Once we realised that that's what the county of Norfolk, in the sleepy heart on the side of the country, was looking to do, then obviously we took them on. And we challenged our council. But that wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't have happened unless people like you had created an awareness that the government are trying to grow and stop at any cost that they can do. With regard to the cameras and everything else, it's just not going to work. You know, they can't do it without a consent. They can try, but we will end up taking them down. They will get demolished. You know what I mean? For those that don't want to go out and demolish them, check out Katie Hawkins. I don't know if anybody's seen it on TikTok, but Tool Station, and it is actually $5.99, not $6.69, like she said. What I feel trouble from is, how is it that somebody can look at us and they can make a decision for us? Do you agree with it? Do you consent to it? So at what point do we say no more? That's exactly right. It's now. It's moving forward in the future. They can only do what they're going to do if we allow them to do it. Okay, so we have to make this stand. But the thing is, what we need to do is we need to unite. Doing this here today in London is okay, but we need to unite across the country. We need to get everybody together. We have little pockets of people which have got a little bit of force. We need to bring those people together. We've got people all over the world that are supporting us at Thetford. I mean, we put a video out. Once we did that and we put the video out that LSP Film Productions filmed for us, they put it on a YouTube channel. There was 243,000 hits. Now that is massive. We're a small town with a community of 30,000. It shows you that the passion is there. We need to correlate it and we need to unite it. We need to literally bring it together. If we bring it together, I promise you, we can and we will win this battle. If I could just end, I kind of want to just get the inspiration and the feeling of community going here today. So I want to get 3 cheers. 3 cheers for the brave people and the patriots. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Now that message, because they're going to watch this. Sadiq Khan, I mean, I'm going to walk up this stage today 8 foot tall. If Sadiq Khan had made the point of coming down here and speaking, he could leave here 5'3". So my message is, you are my people, you are my passion, you are my inspiration. Keep up the good work. I promise on your behalf, I will keep up the good work, and together we will get the message out. Who's up for that? Louder! There's got to be more of you. Who's up for it? That is exactly right. That is where we want to be. Let our voices be heard, because we stayed quiet for too long. We've taken suppression and oppression for too long. We've been labelled, we've been undermined. It's time to stop. It's time to grow. Unite, come together and form an allegiance with each other. You don't know these people standing beside you, but we share common ground. It's as simple as that. We're humanity. We need to grow. To grow. Everybody grow now. And because I'm a family man, I'm a devoted family man, I'm a father and a grandfather. But one thing that I want to get across today is a personal message, alright? A personal message to the people. A personal message to the people that exactly who I am. I'm nothing really, to be honest, without you people. 6 weeks, 7 weeks ago, I was just a normal guy in the town. Today, man, I'm at Trafalgar Square. And it doesn't get much better than that, does it? A personal message that I want to just send, and I want to send it down the lens if I can. My biggest inspiration comes from, I've got to be honest, much closer to home. And I know she's watching today, she's there. She's my biggest critique and she's my biggest supporter. And that is my mum. And I want to look down the lens today and I want to go, I love you, mum. I love you, mum. And thank you for everything you give me. And thank you for your support. Thank you, Trafalgar.
Well done, well done. We've got the cab.
It's not going to link to the live stream. So Max has sorted my life out. That's a big shout out for Max. Well, they can't hear us on the live stream when we do this, but can you hear us? Yeah, okay, right. Well, we're going to go with
Check.
Big one up to Max. Thank you. Well, Max, come on the stage. Come and say hello.
Everyone give Max, get your sister, does she want to come as well? Come and say hello. Everyone give the youngest one, come stand up here. Big shout out. What's your name? Lexi and Max, freedom fighters in the house. Hey! Thank you guys, thank you for your help, well done. I really am inspired by what you're doing, and I want to say to everyone, we're working with local, regional, national ambassadors and groups up and down the country. In Bristol, in Bath, in Canterbury, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Birmingham, where 70,000 people have not paid their CAS, ULEZ equivalent, and they're not collecting them. And all around the country I'm inspired by how smart and brilliant people are, how that we've got the arguments, we've got clarity about our communities and what we need, and we're not going to have it from these technocrats, so of whatever political colour. We're going to stand together, we're going to put them under pressure, we're going to take back democracy, we're going to free our streets together. What are we going to do? And now, talking about that, I was just up, I was lucky enough and very privileged to be invited by Mark Hudson at King's Heath, because in King's Heath in Birmingham, they've got a fantastic community of people who are challenging low traffic neighbourhoods, and it's come all the way down to show solidarity with us and show us why we've got a common struggle. Big round of applause, Mark Hudson.
Thank you very much for that. So I'm from King's Heath in Birmingham. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, good. So we've got, like many of you in London, we've got a double whammy. We've got a congestion charge for our city centre, and we've got LTNs, these street closures in King's Heath itself. King's Heath is the largest shopping area in South Birmingham. It's one of the largest suburbs of South Birmingham. Kind of middle class kind of area. Now, interestingly, I actually stuck this on my car, and guess what? A policeman came and stopped me and said, "Excuse me, sir, can I have a word with you about your registration plate?" I said, "Oh yeah, what's the problem, officer?" He said, "No problem at all. Those bloody LTNs are causing us such a hassle. Go on your way, sir. Go on your way." But on a serious note, so I've actually been campaigning against these street closures in King's Heath mainly, from a couple of weeks after they went in. I was 23 years with the Department for Transport. I'm a transport planner, was with the Highways Agency and what have you. I'm in the trucking world now, so I'm free. I can say whatever I like. What's happened in that time is that I've upset our local Labour councillors so much that I've been framed by the police on a serious matter, and although that's all been cleared now, and just yesterday I had tickets to go to a public event arranged by Birmingham City Council, and this was in King's Heath. And the elections officer, his name's Robert Connolly, that's Robert Connolly, he's the chief solicitor of Birmingham City Council, he's the elections officer that's supposed to be impartial. He sent me an email at 5:45 yesterday evening saying we are withdrawing your tickets to attend this. Your Labour councillors, because we have 2 Labour councillors in King's Heath, your Labour councillors have said that they won't attend if you're attending. Now I'm a peaceful guy, I'm an ex-civil servant for goodness sake. So I've asked Mr. Connolly, what evidence do you have that in any way I'm inciting unrest? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So I feel that my human rights are being impinged on. I can't even go to a public event that I'm actually paying for. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now my name's Mark Preston. I can be found on Facebook, and that's King's Heath LTN Concerns. So if you have similar experiences of the authorities actually sort of like basically using underhand tactics to get at you, basically, I'm a working person like most of you, then please get in touch, because we need to share this information, and thank you to Together Challenge for bringing us together across the country. Thank you again. Cheers.
Thank you, Mark. Big shout all the way from Birmingham. We love you, Birmingham! Fellow citizens and residents, now recently, a lot of you will have seen in the news the brilliant work that people in Cambridge have been doing in challenging their congestion charges. Have you been seeing that? You hearing that? I went down there recently, or up there, actually did go up there, and I was really inspired and amazed by the brilliant crowd they had, by what a mixture of speakers they had from across the old, what you would call political traditions, from trade unions to conservatives to independents and greens, all speaking against the imposition of this congestion charge and attempts to do it to citizens. And one of the organisers and the standout speakers that just did a brilliant speech, who was also on a radio show with us recently, is Shaun Bailey. She's here today. Let's give her a big one. More round of applause. Shaun!
Thank you, Alan, for having me here today. And thank you, London, for inviting us here today. Again, my name is Shaun Bailey, and I'm here all the way from Cambridge. I would like to let you know that I have come here today to stand. The council plans to charge us £5 or more every weekday, everyone that we choose to drive within our city, out of our city, and into our city every single day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Is Cambridge a congestion city? No. Is the air we breathe highly polluted? Again, no, it's not. Is this charge, this tax, an absurdity? Yes, it is. It's an absurd piece of controlled freakery which will be tough on most of us and ruinous for many. It will be especially harmful to smaller businesses, to charities, to families, to tradesmen, and to our elderly and the most vulnerable. And it will further disadvantage the poorest members of our society. This tax is rotten to the core. Those who can't afford to pay, it will drive from our roads. Those who can, it will permit to drive wherever and whenever they want. And to think that this, to echo Neil Kinnock, is a Labour council. a Labour council. A formal petition demanding a referendum was signed by more than 15,000 people in Cambridge. It was presented to the council. 15,000, let me just say, 15,000 is a remarkable number for Cambridge. It's a record-breaking number. A number that is more than just a number. That is a cry of pain from our city. A cry of pain and an appeal to reason. This is a number that no self-respecting democratic institution has any right to ignore, and yet the County Council in Cambridge has done just that. We know that about 80% of the population in Cambridge are against this cruel, this crazy, this unfair, and this unjust and undemocratic tax. We know it, the people of Cambridge know it, and Cambridge County Council knows it. But Cambridge County Council cares not a fig for public opinion. That's right, yes. There have, of course, been sham consultations. You know the kind of thing, surveys of opinion, packed with loaded questions designed to produce the desired answers. And it won't surprise you to hear that the inconvenient data, the numbers that don't suit, and rather too many don't, that they are plain ignored or deliberately misrepresented. Is this democracy? In Britain in 2023? Surely not. We can do better than this. We demand to be taken seriously. We, the people of Cambridge, Bath, Oxford, London, and cities from across the country demand to be heard. Look at us here today. Look at all of us. You brought the sun out with you. Look at us here today and listen to us. Cities of Britain stand united. Together, let us say no. We can say no. We must say no. And we are saying no. Let me hear you. No to these nonsensical restrictions on our movement. And yes to freedom. Yes to democracy. Yes to vibrant cities. And yes to fair play. Let me hear you. And yes to communities that work for not for the better off alone, but that work for everyone, every single one of us. Thank you, London, for having us here today.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Big shout out to everyone in Cambridge. We've got a national movement around the country in every town and city. And we heard we're not going to be shammed, we're not going to be waffled, we're not going to be sidelined, and we're not going to be treated by contempt. And what we're going to do, we're going to take back democracy, we're going to free our streets together. What are we going to do, everyone? That's right. So now, two more speakers, because it was so important what's happening in Thetford in Norfolk. And I'm a lover of Norfolk, we spent a lot of time there. When they said they would start wanting to do some of these 15-minute neighbourhoods, I was like, are they joking? In Norfolk, largely rural. There's a reason though, because even though this is about ULEZ today, and both inside London and outside London, and I'm a Londoner, but I go loads of places and they say, what are you doing here? Why are you coming from the outside? We want everyone to show support to one another. We want to have solidarity. We've got a common fight, a common struggle, and that is bureaucrats and technocrats telling us to be quiet. They're going to impose these things on us. They want us all split up. They want us not united. They want to be a national organisation with organisations like C40 Cities funding and backing and putting ideas into. But they don't like the idea. Well, now we've got news for you. We are a national movement. We've got friends in towns and cities up and down the country, and we are coming for you, everyone. What are we doing? Right, next up is Bob Say's big round of applause. Thetford, Norfolk.
This is weird. this is very weird that somebody like me from sleepy old Thetford in Norfolk would be asked to come and speak. But I think the reason I'm here is that we all began our journeys in the same place. We all started as individuals and ended up as a collective. For me personally, my mistrust of the government and what goes on in local politics and everything began back in the 80s with the miners' strike. So fast forward up to February of 2020, and something in your gut says something's wrong. So Mike Ball's come on just a little while ago explaining about what we're doing in Thetford, and it started with the Stand in the Park movement, and we've decided to kick back before it actually gathers any kind of momentum. But going back to what I just said, Mike sent me this back in early 2020, and it's something that I read regularly just to remind me why we're all here. This is from Mark Twain. In the beginning of change, the patriot is a scarce man, and brave, and hated, and scorned. When his cause succeeds, the timid join him, for then it costs nothing to be a patriot. And that sticks with me, and that's why I carry on doing what I'm doing. Okay. So now we're at a point where, over the last 3 years, a lot of the public have realised that their governments have been lying to them, and those people that have been silent are now standing up and speaking out, and it just shows that we all started as some of us are quite happy to stand up and shout quite loudly, and we're quite often thanked for doing so. But where I was going with this is that this pushback in Thetford started with somebody, a young lady who would rather remain nameless. She's here today, and I'm not going to mention her name, but it was her idea to push out leaflets. It was her idea to push on to the councils. It was her that arranged the distribution of the leaflets. So what I'm saying is, it's the people in the background that are actually giving us the platform to speak from. The importance of the quiet people behind the scenes is massive. It could be just hand out a leaflet. It could be just do a Facebook post. It could be just speak to somebody who didn't know what was going on. It is all important. So the next stage is really for people to start empowering themselves. It doesn't matter how small your voice is, it really, really matters. And at the end of the day, as a collective, if we all just turn around and say no, this all stops. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Brilliant. Norfolk in the house. We've got... Three's always better than one. So next, we have got, also from Thetford in Norfolk, because they did such a good job, and 13 of them are standing, going independent. This is what we need around Britain. And even though it's cut-off time, but we know in a third of the country, people are standing independently. And that's really important. It's not, of course, the only thing. People say when we organise a protest, oh, well, you're a protest, what's that going to do? And then when you say you write to your MPs and councillors, oh, write to your MPs, now what's that going to do? And then they say when you stand, they say, well, what's that going to do? And then when you have a rally, they say, oh, what's that? But collectively, and then going out and winning our friends and neighbours and work colleagues and convincing them to do the same with other people. And then we the many, they the few, start asserting ourselves. We need to flex our muscles, we need to get back in training, we need to turn Britain back into the democratic spirit it needs to have. And we do it together. So next up, very pleased, a big round of applause, Jeff Meelan.
Hello London. How are we? Brilliant, brilliant. Right, these restrictions. See, I've got a theory about this. I think these restrictions are partial lockdowns. That's the problem I've got. They're not going to throw out a lockdown straight away because we won't believe it, we won't have it. But I believe these restrictions are partial lockdowns of what's to come. And within the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see the biggest financial crash that we've ever worked out and saw in history. If I can put my teeth in, I'll be all right. And what's going to happen? The banks are going to go bust. The cash is going to disappear. But why is that? Why is that, do we think? Well, the cost of living, everything's going up and they're printing more money off each time. It's quantitative easing, they call it. quantitative easing because the cost is just going through the roof. But I call it quantitative diseasing because I believe that it's done by design because they want the system to crash. They want the money to disappear, the cash to go. Because why do they want that? Because they're getting ready for the central bank digital currency. So first of all, what we'll find is the fake stream media will start saying, oh look, cyber attacks, we're going to get blackouts and blame the Russians, no doubt. But really, obviously, this is planned. Blackouts, what I'll say is, if you're not collecting your food, saving it up now, you need to start. Because once the central bank digital currency comes in, we are in trouble. And I hope when the lights go up, that it's not Sadiq Khan's face, not Sadiq Khan, Rishi Sunak's face, that comes up and starts telling us how good this central bank digital currency is. Problem, reaction, solution. They cause the problem, they gauge the reaction, and they give you the solution. And he'll tell you they might even offer you some money to sign up for this. So the central bank digital currency is based on a social credit score. Look at China, look at Israel, and even look at the USA. It's been ratified in law by that awful man, Joe Biden. Yeah, exactly, yes. The social behaviour has been tracked from us since the internet started. So what have we got? They're going to be looking at a one world bank, one world government. They're going to look at a surveillance coin. It's going to track your every spend, like everything. Let's look at what tracking devices we got already. We've got the phones. We've even got the Apple Watches or smartwatches. What's coming out now in the new cars, they're going to be fitted with cameras as well. And by 2025, there's going to be at least 16 cameras in each car. So you better be careful what you get up to. Yes, smart cities, yes, it's all there. But not only that, the surveillance cameras, there's over 1 billion in the world of facial recognition. It's going to be on everything. I mean, now you've got it on your phone, you've got it in the polling stations, you've got it in and out of the airports, you've got supermarkets, it's everywhere. And it'll only work in conjunction with that. And what it'll be is your food, if you want, like with the surveillance coin, your food, you'll have to unlock your apps in order to do this, you see. What I meant to mention about the surveillance coin first is, if you did want to buy any food, say you want to say like steak, they might say, oh, I'm sorry, you can't have that because you've had too many steaks this week. And they'll say, well I'll have some juice. So you check out, they'll look at it and go, well, I'm sorry, you can't have a juice because your sugar levels are too high. It's that kind of thing what they're doing, that kind of thing. So they're basing everything on the facial recognition with a digital ID because they want you to unlock everything. But if you haven't got the credit score correct, if you haven't got a high score, then it'll be no good to you. They won't allow you to have anything to eat or even do anything. You know, so I just want to can I just do one quote from Thomas Paine. Those of you may have heard of him. Not. He said, "I prefer peace, but if trouble must come, let it come in my time, so that my children can live in peace." Thank you.
Thomas Paine. I love it that people are quoting Thomas Paine. Common sense in that tradition of democracy and freedom. So now we're going to do something. What? Well, that's nothing to do with us though, is it? So just stay, don't go near the fire. I'm like, what? Oh, smoke bombs. Love it. Scary. You're gonna like, you've got to do better than that. Please, sorry. I know we're live, aren't we? So now we're going to do something a little bit different. I met this guy, I'm old now. I met this guy about 30 years ago in a different set of circumstances, and we've gone on a journey together in many different ways, and he's always been inspiring, but things are very different now to what they were then. But actually, as well as being a musician and as well as being a co-founder of the Together Association and being on the board and always being there in the background, like with the security here and like that way, he's always also to disagree and argue and tell me when I'm wrong and have his voice there and be a bastion of strength. We were very lucky that Norris is going to come along, and although he plays and DJs and produces and he's always up there on the stage, he don't speak. And he's putting himself right out on the line. This is courage. He's also doing something with his beautiful sister Rose, who's a very well-known singer from back in the days of Soul to Soul and others. So we're going to have a little experiment. I know you're going to show a lot of love, and we're going to see how this one all goes. It's Norris Windross and Rose Windross in the house.
Check. Change battery or share mic. Share mic, I think. Let's share mic. Right. Alan, can you get a battery now, please? Right, so listen, that was a good start. I don't like doing this. My sister's come on to give me a little bit of strength. It's a little bit of spoken word for you, right? It's a little bit of spoken word. I'm going to hold out for the battery because it's going to sound better if my sister's involved. Yeah, so thank you for coming. Thank you for being you. Thank you for questioning and turning this thing around slowly but surely. We're going to make some things happen. We're going to change our country, change London, turn back Sadiq, turn it all, I was going to swear then, turn it all back. Have we got another mic yet, please? Here we go.
They're not there. The sound has nothing to do with it. It's got nothing to do
Yeah, have we got no... Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to say it. Here we go. Listen. I'm asking the question, whose is this vision? This vision that surreptitiously seems like a mission, that's taking control of our lives, telling us how we should live on the basis of what is not what it appears to be. They tell us it's for our own safety, for our own health, for our own good. You stayed in to save lives, you lived in your post because they told you they should. You should, rather. I mean, surely they cared about us, surely they did. Surely they did, didn't they? Now listen, you know the truth now, the statistics and data is coming out now. It's time, people, let us look at the facts, statistics, data and review. We have to recognise now that they are not on our side now. They do not convey or tell truth. So we have problems to solve, many lessons, many wrongs to resolve. So I'm asking you, each and every one of you, I'm asking me too. Will we stand back and let them do to us what they choose to? No. To accept like lambs, branded, just because they tell us it's the standard? No. For me and mine, those days are gone, and I'm asking you and everyone good to join with us all, for the good of good people, listen. The slogans they made were there to degrade, trying to scare us into submission, but they didn't. They caused our awakening. Not our wokeness, our awakening. We're awake now! Where we say, what do you think and who do you think you're doing it to? When we know it's not right, listen. And when it's not right, we have to resolve to the fight. Listen. The fight to be free, the fight to live free, in peace and be what and how we choose to be, peaceably. And so right now, I say no. No to LTNs, no to 15-minute cities, and no to the ULEZ. What do you say? What do you say? What do you say? There we go. What a treat. Stop the ULEZ, exactly. So, how exciting. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Norris and Rose. And now we're going to have a few speakers that are well known in the public arena, one by one. Next is coming up, we've got Ian Much from the Motorcycle Action Group. If you know the Motorcycle Action Group, put your hands together. Here we go, Ian.
It's 50 years ago this year that we formed the Motorcycle Action Group, and I stood just behind me up here. And that, in those days, MAG, Motorcycle Action Group, had one issue, which was helmets. We didn't want to be told what to wear. We were always rebels. We didn't like being told what to do. And that principle has dictated pretty much everything which the Motorcycle Action Group has done ever since. It's not without responsibility, we're not lunatics, but we insisted that we would wear what we wanted to wear. Well, we didn't manage to win that one, but there have been many other issues that have come along since. The government wanted to design bikes, they wanted to put power limits on bikes, and now we're being told where we can ride or when. And understandably, being a little on the rebellious side, we're not very keen on it. It doesn't mean that I'm anti-environment. I joined Greenpeace, I think, even before we formed the Motorcycle Action Group. And I'm very happy to plant trees, and I care about the oceans and everything else you can think of. But you've got to keep things in proportion, and you've got to avoid doing things which simply alienate people and don't achieve the results that you want to achieve, and don't feed your objective. And I think the danger that Sadiq Khan is getting into is that he's led with such ideological zeal that he's slightly lost the plot, and he's lost touch with people's lives. People's lives depend on their vehicle. It's an irony, it's an incredible irony, that if I had a brand new Rolls Royce, which I can't quite stretch to, I could bring that right through the ultra-low emission zone. If I had a 20-year-old Honda 90, which many people who can't afford the latest vehicles of any kind might well want to ride, and would be fine to ride for another 20 or 30 years. There might be nurses, there might be all manner of essential workers who want to get into central London or get into any part of London from where they live, will not be able to do it. So I could sit in my Rolls Royce with my elbow out my window, burning more fuel than a chieftain tank almost, blowing cigar smoke in all directions, and that would be okay. But the guy on the 90cc Honda is going to pay £12.50 a day, which is rather a chunk out of a very basic wage. So what I have always said about every issue that we've dealt with in the past, and it's what I say about the ULEZ issue today, is that you've got to keep things in proportion, and every proposed regulation should meet a certain number of criteria. Is it proportional? Will it be effective? Is it rational? And is it fair? And this is what Sadiq Khan has got to subject the ULEZ proposition to. Fortunately for him, I've done the groundwork for him, and I can provide him with the answer. And the answer is no. We're anticipating. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Ian. Yes, yes. Next up, Keith Prince in the house. Everyone knows Keith. Come on.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to thank the organisers for organising today. You've done a fantastic job, and my good friend Lembit Opik for helping out. Why are we here? I ask myself. Because isn't expanding the ULEZ a wonderful idea? No. And is it being done to improve the quality of air in London? No! Why is it being done? It's being done to raise money, exactly. It's all about money. It's got nothing to do with air quality. We've had the research that clearly shows that expanding ULEZ will make no difference whatsoever, so it's all about money. And I'm so delighted that we're now going to have a JR, because all of this has been done incorrectly. He does not have a mandate for this. He didn't mention it in his election. He tried to interfere with the consultation, and that was, he was for that, he was. And also, we know that he predetermined because, for some reason, he ordered the cameras before the consultation. Not that he knew what the outcome of the consultation would be, because you wouldn't, would you? You'd spend millions of pounds on cameras you weren't going to use, wouldn't you? So all I've got to say to you guys is thank you so much for coming down. I love you, and let's really give it to him with a great big Khan out! Hey, well done guys, thank you.
Okay, everyone. If the sound guys are around, I don't know if they're having a beer or what's going on. But anyway, we need you over here. You told me last time you weren't going away. You're like killing me, you know. So one of those relationships. I'm not leaving you. Oh, it's great to see some familiar faces in the audience. Love it. Yes. Hello, big shout. Yes, from around the world. The Lasso and Sophie in the house. So next up, we have got Brian Bailey from the Motorcycle Action Group. Big round of applause, shout out.
Thank you. Right, can you hear me? That's good. It's actually the Alliance of British Drivers, but we go under different names. We all work together, yeah? Okay, you'll hear some good speeches today about ULEZ, but ULEZ is only part of the story. Right. ULEZ is a stepping stone to Genghis Khan's final solution, London-wide road pricing. He's got the nerve to pretend that ULEZ is all about air quality and health. It's always been about money, our money. So pull the other one, Genghis. Last year, we had the ULEZ consultation. One of my colleagues in ABD spotted a very interesting admission that ULEZ would only make money for a couple of years before it was replaced by London-wide road pricing by 2026 at the latest. Mayor Khan assures us that no decisions have been made. Well, why then is Transport for London hiring contractors to develop road pricing systems? We're told the technology is not available yet. Don't fall for that. What he really means is that he will wait until he's re-elected. Do we want to see him re-elected? No! Do we want to see him? No! Right, Khan admits that the ULEZ cameras could be used to police road pricing. He's considering taxing us by when we drive and where we drive to. Who decides if our journey to work is really necessary? Who decides if we should be cycling or walking instead? Yeah? He's even eyeing our household income. Yeah? It's a massive invasion of our privacy. We all work together. Yes? And if the truth is the best disinfectant for London's toxic mayor. Thank you.
Right, we got some great audience. Big shout out to the signer as well, please, everyone. And Emma, big shout out. I'm going to read some more quotes out in a second, but now we're going to introduce a gentleman who has been a special advisor to Boris Johnson, whatever anyone thinks about Boris Johnson, but he's been a special advisor to Boris Johnson, and he's now throwing his hat in the ring as a prospective candidate for London Mayor. He is, of course, Samuel Kasumu.
Hello, everyone! Friends, what a turnout! We're sending a message directly to Sadiq Khan that we don't want his ULEZ expansion. Is that true? You've been here. Show Sadiq Khan how strong Londoners feel about his poor choice of this ULEZ expansion. This mayor's dismissive disregard towards us, those who are concerned about his ULEZ tax, must end now. Sadiq Khan, take notice, stop and listen. London is the greatest city in the world. The people who live and work here make it so great. The mayor's ULEZ plans hurt those very people, Londoners like you and me, and people who make this city work. For many of us, a car means liberty and livelihood. Get cut out, yes I agree. Get cut out, get cut out. I was born and raised in the London Borough of Barnet. Anybody here from Barnet? Yes, two of us, wonderful. Where I first saw the power of having a car. For those not rich enough to afford a new vehicle, the ULEZ tax, Khan's ULEZ tax, will be nothing short of a disaster. Small businesses will close. Disabled Londoners stranded. Carers and our NHS heroes stuck. We have all read and heard about the effect the ULEZ tax will have on entrepreneurs. Trust me, ULEZ is going to hurt them. I founded and ran a social enterprise many years ago which supported over 6,000 entrepreneurs to set up and grow a business. Many used the funds to buy a van. Not a brand new van, but a second-hand van. Vans mean work. Vans mean independence. Vans mean food on the plates for families. Vans mean self-preservation. The Federation of Small Businesses has found that 18% of companies who have vehicles that are not ULEZ compliant will close. It's no surprise then that more than 4 in 5 small businesses oppose the expansion. Sadiq Khan, once again, take notice, stop and listen. If you are disabled, have mobility issues, a car is your livelihood, Sadiq Khan's ULEZ tax could be catastrophic for them. I hate that word, catastrophic. Tried to get out of the speech, it didn't work. Over 280,000 disabled people live in London, many needing wheelchair-specific vehicles. Sadiq Khan is proposing less than a 4-year exemption on the tax. In 4 years, they'll have to buy a brand new car or pay full whack. Of course, this short exemption is only for those who claim disability benefits. Many Londoners have mobility problems but do not claim those benefits. Do we agree? Don't worry, I'm almost done. Awkward moment trying to get through the next page. So my message to the Mayor is please listen to us. Londoners do not want your tax. Stop the expansion process right now and listen. Mr. Mayor, if you feel strongly about ULEZ loans, put it in your manifesto, let's debate it and let the people decide. Mr. Mayor, if you want to support small businesses, if you want to enable those with disabilities, such as our elderly, if you want to support our NHS heroes, then the one thing you need to do is stop the ULEZ tax right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samuel. I should say that this was put together fairly fast, this one, but we invited a range of different people. We've got a lot of support from various people who agree with us, MPs. That's across the floor as well. Some of the Labour MPs, as well as, what was that noise? Labour MPs, as well as Conservatives, some of the Lords, as we read out at the start of this, Baroness Fox and Lord Moylan and others, and councillors. And we're going to be doing another big one in the next couple of months, which we'll let everyone know about. It won't be Easter when people will come in to speak. Next up is a councillor from one of the councils that's doing the judicial review. It's Simon Forford from Bromley Council.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Are you here to send a message to Mr. Khan? I'm not sure we heard that. Are you here to send a message to Mr. Khan? Yes! Good, I'll keep that up. Well, I'm Simon Forthorpe, and I'm one of the councillors on part of the fearless 5 councils that are challenging Mr. Khan through the courts. And we will take it all the way. I can assure you of that. Now, Mr. Khan doesn't understand you lot. He thinks, for some reason, he thinks you're all extreme right wingers. Are you extreme right wingers? I don't think he heard that. No, we are not. Are you COVID deniers? No! So this is the whole point about it. He would have us painted as daft, stupid people because he's lost the arguments. And one of the next things I want to talk about is air quality, okay? Today, in inner London, every one of you is breathing worse air than you would do if you was in my borough in Bromley. Here today, there's already ULEZ here, and what he's doing is he's making outer London pay for his mistakes in inner London. And the other thing is, you don't have to take my word for it, there's an independent report by a company called Jacobs. Go and look at their maps. You'll see that it's all lovely blues and greens in outer London, reds and yellows in inner London. Maybe that's something to do with the politics, I don't know. But that is an air quality map, and that is fundamentally true. But we know, everybody here knows it's not about air quality one little bit. It is about road pricing. Mr. Khan is not even a Trojan horse anymore. He's got out of the horse, he's waving the flag and said, you know what, I'm going to charge road pricing. I don't know if you've seen his accounts, but in 2027, he will raise no money whatsoever from ULEZ. So he's got to get some money somehow, and that means today, you may be ULEZ compliant, but tomorrow, or in 2025, when he brings in road pricing, you will not be. Fundamentally, he's after you. He's after everybody. I drive an electric car. I know what's coming. I'll be charged. Believe me. So, the next thing I want to say is, if I was standing for mayor, I would do three things. I'd pledge three things. The first one would be, I would scrap ULEZ. The second one is, I would not go for road pricing. And the third one is, and I have to say this because Mr. Khan is scared. He's lost the arguments, that's why he calls you names. He's scared facing the electorate. So I challenge Mr. Khan, plain and simply, delay this implementation until May. Let the electorate decide. What are you afraid of? And we know what he's afraid of. He's afraid of you good people. That's what it is. So my pledge would be, if I was standing for mayor, is I would say, anybody that is fined, if you are fined between now and the election, you will get a full refund if Khan is kicked out. A full refund. Do you like that? Do you like that? Good. And finally, there's a few other things we've got to just wrap up here because we know all about this. And that is that he's not getting the message. ULEZ is unfair. And he does not get that. As people have said, it affects the poorest. Where I live, it will stop doctors, teachers, nurses, police officers coming into work. It will put you in danger. It will put you at risk. You might not get torched. You might not be able to go to hospital because of all those things. Those people, and we already know of some that are stripping their jobs at the Prue in Bromley to go and work outside because they don't want to face the congestion charge. That's how it impacts people. It affects everyday people. And the other thing is, I want you all to put your hand up if you are impacted by ULEZ or you know someone that's impacted by ULEZ. And there you have it. Everybody knows somebody in outer London that is seriously impacted by ULEZ. That's why we've got to stop this. That's why we have to make it an election issue, regardless of what happens. So, what we have to say to Mr. Khan one more time, stop ULEZ! Stop ULEZ! Stop ULEZ! Stop ULEZ! Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the afternoon.
Thank you, Simon. Next up is the fierceless, formidable and fearless, and soon, I know we've got the energy going on and all that, but this is the fearless, formidable Charlotte Gracious from Barnet and from the Together Association, one of the original co-founders and on our board, Charlotte Gracious, freedom fighter.
Hello everyone! Thank you so much for coming. You know, it's very stressful when you're organising it. When I see thousands of faces here, it makes it all worthwhile. You are democracy. You represent all the people that can't be here today. You all make a difference. I'm a Londoner. I can't even travel across London without paying ULEZ, without paying congestion charges. I pay taxes, I pay council tax. I have to pay on top of that. Sadiq Khan is destroying London. He's destroying the city that I love. We're going to take London back, aren't we? We're going to stop LTNs. Yeah? We're going to stop 15-minute cities. We're going to stop this war on drivers, because this affects everyone. It affects my family, my friends. I can't drive to work. I have to pay over £1,000 for a travel card and then pay on top of that. I'm done with this. We are not paying ULEZ. We are not going to expand ULEZ. I'm having none of this. Yeah? What are we going to do? We're going to take democracy back. We're going to free our streets. No to ULEZ expansion. All right, so I'm just going to read a little note from the formidable June Slater. I'm sure you all know who she is. She said you all are lovely. The people here today are the spearhead of change. That's you. They are the ones that can be remembered for doing the right thing at the right time. You have my unwavering support always. Thank you. And thank you from me for being here today.
Thank you, Charlotte, and thank you, June. June, if you're watching, we love you. Keep on with those videos. Next up is one of the co-organisers. He's been out here in the last few weeks in the cold and the rain. When I first spoke to him, he's a no-nonsense, straight-talking, proper fella. It is, of course, Phil Elliott from Action on ULEZ. Here we go. Oh no, it's not. See, I did that wrong. Right, it's live, so you can't take two. No. It's because we've got a lot of speakers, and I apologise. That's going to come next. Who we've really got is someone else I've met relatively recently, who's, I met him before on TV many years ago, but we've had a bit of a kindred spirit moment recently. Someone who speaks very, very smartly on a range of issues to do with what's going on, always talks about things I don't quite understand actually, but what he is very brave. He's prepared to put himself on the line for his political convictions, even if it means not being with your friends anymore, which most people are not prepared to do. He is, of course, Lembit Opik, who's here from Transport Reality. Here we go.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My name's Lembit Opik, and I'm here because we have to draw a line in the sand between the rulers, who are really our servants. We pay their salaries. You don't pay mine anymore, but all right. The reality is they have lost touch with the public. The three reasons why the ULEZ expansion is utter nonsense is, number one, it's unscientific. It won't save 4,000 lives. It will cost lives and livelihoods, because people won't be able to look after their loved ones, because they're not going to spend 90 quid a week going round, and they're not going to be able to work on minimum wage in the area, because you're getting most of it to Sadiq Khan. The second point here is it's undemocratic. Most people in London didn't want it in the first place, in reality, and in this survey, the result was clearly against it, even though he tried to fiddle the figures. And the third thing is, it's unworkable for a city that you cannot run on bicycles and foot alone. That's a first world country needs first world transport and first-rate politicians, and we haven't got any of those three at the moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here because, thanks to Alan Miller and the team, This is the real, authentic government in waiting for this country. And I would love to see a situation where if you don't have Together association support, you don't get elected. Sadiq Khan, in conclusion, is even cheekier than I am, thinking that he can force something on this country because it goes from London to the rest of the country that we don't want. Ladies and gentlemen, I pay homage to you for taking the trouble to speak up and be counted. And the message should be, if you ignore the will of the public will ignore you at the ballot box. Thank you.
Thank you, Lembit. I bet you can all guess what I'm going to say now. So now we've got the no-nonsense Phil Elliott action on ULEZ. Here we go, co-organiser.
Hello guys, everybody. Nobody knows who I am, do you? Who is Phil Elliott? Nobody knows. 17 years ago, I stood down the road outside the Houses of Parliament on my own. And today, 17 years later, I'm standing there looking at a sea of faces. And I just think to myself, no, what a wonderful day. I think to myself, if it was different back then, and people saw what I saw back in 2006, 2007, and my claim to fame was Thursday, June the 28th, 2007, Green Plan, a monster, with my little Mickey Mouse recovery truck that nobody cared about, especially Ken Livingstone back in the day. We, as the Fourth Emergency Services, was ignored by Ken Livingstone. We said to him that we need exemptions. We begged him for exemption, but they didn't listen. We had the experts, we had the RHA, we had Isuzu UK with us. We had a team telling them exactly what was going to go wrong with all the filters. They didn't listen. Nobody listened. So you stand there and you think, what am I doing wrong? What do I do to get anyone to see? Nobody cared. Back then it was Euro 2s, Euro 3s, and just go and buy another car. Go and buy another van, unless of course you're spending £250,000 for a recovery truck, which many of my friends were. So like you guys today, you're all facing debt, more debt. You haven't got the vehicles. You haven't got the capability to go out and buy a brand new vehicle. 700,000, apparently 700,000 people, vehicles will be hit by this. Well, I say there's more. Because what I'm hearing from other people is across the country where this is going. And much as it's been London for a long time, this will go across the country, hence there's people from across the country here. Nobody listened, so I went to, like it or loathe it, UKIP. There was one person that I listened, a guy called Lawrence to UKIP, and he stood as a London mayoral candidate back in the day, and he represented me. One person shouting about the low emission zone, one person, backed by the recovery industry, but nobody really took any notice. And today, we're stood here moaning about the ultra low emission zone. If they'd have listened and seen back in the day what I saw, potentially we wouldn't be here. We need to stand together. We need to work together, and we need to break this calm because, well, what are we going to do? Get Khan out! Get Khan out! Get Khan out! Get Khan out! Thank you. Boris Johnson won back in 2010, 12, whenever it was. Boris Johnson won, and the LEZ continue to creep up and get more and more stricter. We went from 2, 3s, 3s, 4s, 4s, 5, and now we're in Euro 6. What's next? Paper mile. So you know, you've heard it already what's been said. We're going paper mile, we're going clean airs, we've got all of these things. Is that what we want? No, it's not what we want. Who gave them the choice, the right to say what you're going to do? No one. They took it on their back to do it. Bear with me. So today, ULEZ, before it was LEZ, just me, but now it's ULEZ that we're working and fighting against. So now, where are we going? We've got the JR, the Judicial Review. Hopefully, that's going to upset our mate, Mr. Khan. If it doesn't, we keep on fighting, and we keep fighting harder and harder and harder. Because if we don't, these people that think that they can rule us and tell us what to do will continue to push us into the ground deeper and deeper, and your depressions and your anxieties and your God knows what else is going to come out of it. It's just going to drive us to distraction. It's got to stop. In Manchester, Andy Burnham decided that he was going to bring in a clean air zone, I believe. Andy Burnham had to stop it because people like you stood up and shouted, no. The May elections, there's a sign of discontent with the current political parties. Now we've got a lot of decent people from various backgrounds, various political backgrounds, that are standing here today with us. But what happens come May the 4th will be an idea of what is coming in the future. What we need to do is hopefully get some sort of alternative, because the current lot aren't listening, and I'm going to ring this bit here. This could stop, this could have stopped by now, easily, but Rishi Sunak has decided not to veto. He has decided not to veto. Simple reason is, it makes Labour look bad. Well, they look bad enough already in my book. But here we are, party politics. What is wrong with these people when I see so many people here struggling? That it's just wrong, simply wrong. So where are we? Sadiq Khan is finished in my book. He has failed London, he has failed business, he has failed his money management, he's failed safety, the police, and he's failed the transport industry, the transport for you guys to get around. Once you get rid of your cars, your motorcycles and everything else, you've got to get the buses, really? So, I'm going to wrap it up now, but who am I? I was one person, 17 years ago, stood down the road on my own, shouting and hollering, but nobody listened. And in the great words of Jeff buys cars, at first the people didn't see, now the people see. I want to say thank you very much to Alan Miller. I want to say thank you very much to Alan Miller for really taking the strain off of Nick, who was absolutely slaughtered trying to organise things. Alan Miller's done a fantastic job, as we can all agree. Yes, we are working together. Yes, we have done a fantastic job to get here and bring the crowd. Have you seen what's out the front? My God, that's the party kicking off out there. Anyway, look, enough. Thank you for your time. I'm going to pass this over now to Alan and just say... One sec. Oh, hang on.
No, I'm going to blow smoke up Phil's arse, I'm sorry. Without this man, I would not have ever got involved in this. It was his connections that have put this together. Alright? I mean, I'll use that word again. But this is the band that put this together. Alright? So, pick him up, alright?
I think I'll leave it on that, that's good enough. So, all the best, thank you very much, have a lovely day, let's party!
Well done. We've only got a couple more speakers now. I do want to say, if anyone's not a member of Together, this is how we carry on campaigning and challenging. Join us, we've got signatories, but we need members. People always want to know where anyone gets their money from. Well, this is where we get our money from, right? From people like us, like you, or anyone else who agrees with what we're doing. Totally transparent, in case anyone's confused. Like that article, Open Democracy, saying it's a bit opaque. There's nothing opaque about it. We get donations and we get members who support us. So if you think what we're doing is good, that's the way we keep doing it, and we'd love you to become a member. The more of us, the stronger us, the better we are together. Now, you will have seen that many people are trying, as well as challenging ULEZ, people across London in different boroughs, inner and outer London and across the UK, are obviously challenging those roadblocks, low traffic neighbourhoods that came in with emergency legislation, all those flower pots and charges, and shutting our streets down, checkpoint Charlies. But we don't want it, we're not having it. They reckon there's going to be 75% in Hackney and 70% in Islington. Are they joking? We're not having it. And someone that I met recently is a great leader, a very good spokesperson, very brave. You've probably seen her on some of the videos because they've gone viral. From Haringey, TO Hawkins.
Hello everyone. Can you hear me? My name's Tara Hawkins and I'm here today to speak about the impact of low traffic neighbourhoods from a small business angle. I run two businesses, an online travel agent and a retail furniture shop in the borough of Haringey. Anyone from Haringey here? We're located in Middleton Road, a great road with 68 shops. I'm not just here to talk about my business, I'm talking about the other businesses that have been affected, as I was co-chair of the Traders Association. Last year the businesses in the street were picking up from COVID, trying to get back on their feet all summer, and then Haringey Council slapped an LTN around our high street in August, which had an immediate impact on our businesses. We noticed 10-15% drop in trade, not just our business, most of the businesses in the street were impacted by the LTNs, and so it went on. 75% of the businesses are now looking to relocate in the next 18 months, and as the LTNs have kicked in, as of today, many of the businesses are reporting 50% down in trade, which is a huge amount to deal with. So overnight, Haringey Council changed the business model because we were relying on people coming from outside the area and outside the borough in their cars to shop. But Haringey Council only want local people to shop, and you can't survive on that. The council have repeatedly ignored our concerns, and when available for comment on 25th of February to the Telegraph newspaper, Mike Carter, Deputy Leader of Haringey Council, stated, "We are launching a business survey soon, and I strongly encourage the Middleton Road traders to take the opportunity to have their say." Well, the word again is mentioned, he's always getting feedback, he ignores it, and as of today, I spoke to my friends in Middleton Road and that they've not had this survey, the promised survey from Michael Carter. He also told the Telegraph, we engaged extensively with the local community before introducing the LTNs, including the traders on Middleton Road. This is a lie, he's a liar, no consultation or engagement took place. The truth is, Haringey Council have created a big mess. If ULEZ is working, why do we need LTNs? Because at the end of the day, it's all about grabbing money from motorists and businesses who are viewed as easy cash cows. Just like in COVID times, those that hold the decision making on restrictive schemes do not take the financial hit, whereas those that have to take the financial hit have no say in the decision making. What can we do? Working with Together Group gives us the numbers to be heard, have our say, and campaign for the removal of these ruinous schemes. Government and councils need to work with the people, not telling us they know better. They are nowhere to be found when it all goes wrong. Where is Pere Armat, leader of Haringey Council? She has not once visited Middleton Road to see the devastation her council has caused. It's time to vote these supporters of these schemes out. We've got to vote them out. The local councillors and also our MPs who back the funding of these schemes. Keep following Together and all of us as we work to remove the barriers. In the meantime, visit the traders in Middleton Road, and we moved our shop to Crouch End, where there's no, in January, there's no
referendum on the congestion charge. Turnout was 53.2% across 10 council regions in Greater Manchester. Over 1 million people voted. 78.8% of the people rejected the congestion charge, a resounding result. Maybe that proves that the public can't be trusted to make the right decision. shall wrap up now. I'll introduce our next speaker. Thank you all for coming. Let's stick together. Let's take democracy back together. And I will introduce from Bath, Ruthie Bijou.
Hi, great to be here today. It's such a great vibe out there, and it's so good to see so many people standing up for freedom. So I've come today from the West Country just to tell you a little bit about what we are doing in Bath to fight our local Lib Dem Council's anti-freedom net zero policies. So in Bath, councillors declared a climate emergency post. So we want the council to engage properly with people and treat us decently. So we've protested, we've produced flyers, we've put up posters, and we've made videos of shopkeepers, traders and local residents, which we've put up on our website and on Facebook and Twitter to try to draw the public's attention to what really is going on under their noses, and also to illustrate to the council how their policies are actually affecting real people. The local Lib Dem party is deliberately hiding where it plans to put these low traffic neighbourhoods. They've only announced 15 on their website, and the others they're holding back until after the elections. So people living on the roads that are going to be affected will be hit with massively increased levels of pollution and noise. And what's more, the current councillors promised to tighten the rules of the clean air zone beyond the legal levels mandated by central government. So they're real zealots. The council shut out disabled people from the city centre by reducing blue badge access and cutting back on parking spaces for this vulnerable group who, now more than ever, need to be included into society, not excluded. They're spending £10 million on building a ring of steel to keep all traffic out. So this ring of steel is basically around the historic centre of Bath. And they're spending £10 million on effectively bollards. So eventually people will be charged to drive anywhere near the city centre, and the council plans on cutting many more parking spaces in a bid to force people to walk or cycle. They say this on their website, that they want people to walk or cycle, and yet they don't mention the people who are physically incapable of cycling or scooting or even walking very far. What about them? Bath is, after all, a city of 7 hills. How are they going to get around? Meanwhile, the councillors still have access to their free parking spaces at the back of the Guildhall in the centre of town. We're witnessing an all-out war on motorists, and it's going to hit everybody in some way or another. We cannot put all our focus on environmental concerns, meanwhile destroying the fragile ecosystems that are our towns and our cities, and our complex societies, because that is what is happening. There needs to be balance and proper, rigorous public consultation, which at the moment there isn't. People in Bath are just not being listened to by our present council. Tradespeople in Bath are being harassed daily and sent fines for being in the clean air zone, even when they have paid their daily charge. And one guy even had fines sent to him amounting to £10,000. Others have had visits from bailiffs, chasing fines that really shouldn't exist. These measures are really causing unnecessary stress and real anxiety, and they need to be stopped. Our freedom of movement is being taken away bit by bit. Our current council wants to introduce 15-minute zones, just as they are doing in Oxford, and if re-elected in May, they will put up cameras, and they'll watch us and record our every movement. And of course, they'll be generating huge fines from these, huge revenue from the fines. This is not sustainability. This is not freedom or democracy. It is dictatorship. Our forebears, quite right. Our forebears who fought to preserve our freedoms in this country would be shocked if they could see how our liberty is being chipped away, one policy at a time. So Londoners, you're not alone in this battle. All the cities in Britain are experiencing the same political overreach, and we need to stick together and send the message back loud and clear, no. So please join the Together Declaration and let's take back our democracy. We cannot allow our freedom to move around our cities and towns to be controlled in this despotic way. If we are not free to move around, then we are really not free at all. Thank you.
I've actually jumped on, just to say in Bath, they tried to shut us all down, right? And we had a community hall booked. They tried to shut us down, but within 3 or 4 days we organised an event and there were hundreds of people in Bath for that meeting, and it was an incredible moment, and they're fighting now, and they're standing, and the elections are coming up. A big shout out to Save Bath, Save Our City. Thank you, Wolfie. Next up, everyone knows, is Fiery. He's just written a book all about the Ponzi nightmare of zombie companies, quantitative easing, and everything financial. It is, of course, Mitch Feinstein. Here we go.
Hello, London. Can you guys hear me? So, how many people here think that there's a lot of inflation in the economy? Yeah, it's over 20%. Food inflation is the highest it's ever been. I want you to say ULEZ is a tax. It's a tax on the people that can't afford to pay it. So, do people like Sadiq Khan? What we need leaders, not liars. What do we need? Leaders, not liars. That's what we need. So we've got a problem with the economy in London. This is going to decimate small and medium-sized businesses that are already closing down because of the COVID crisis. Now we have the climate crisis, and what we're going to have next is a massive financial crisis. And ULEZ will compound it, as many people won't be coming into London anymore. This is a misplaced, misguided policy by politicians who don't care about any of us. They care about themselves and moving themselves forward. I've been in London for 25 years now. I don't know one person that's voted for Sadiq Khan. Not one. Not one. What does that say? Leaders, not liars. We've got a systemic problem with our government. I thank everybody for coming out here today. It's great to see the support. We need to take back our democracy. We need to take back our freedom. Have politicians who tell the truth. New concept. Truth, democracy, and freedom. 3 things. Truth, democracy, and freedom. Right? Leaders, not liars. These are the things that we need. As the economy continues to go down, people understand that they're not telling us the truth about inflation. 25% of the country is facing energy poverty, which is a very serious thing. The United Kingdom has record child poverty across the country. We need to address these issues. We need politicians that can take care of the people here first. London should be taken care of, not creating another tax, the ULEZ tax. End the tax, end the tax, end the tax.
Thank you so much, Mitch. Our American compatriot, freedom from the Republic, from America to here. We've only got a couple more speakers. I hear a little rumour there's going to be some people taking a little walk as well. We've got our friends all around Trafalgar Square, all around, we're filming live still, but there's going to be a little walk apparently in a minute, round the corner, down the road, up there. Not actually officially organised by us, but you know, people will do what people will do. Next up is Angela Lewis-Wright, who's going to come and speak to us. Big round of applause, and then we've got a couple more, and then we're going to be finishing up.
Thank you, Alan. It's just so brilliant to see you all here. This reminds me of the importance of being together. Thank you together for putting this together. It really has been an eye-opener. And I remember last year when we got together around the COVID mandates and served people together. But did we hear that on mainstream media? No! Now we've got a false economy and taxes raised against us in London. I live in North London, and during the lockdown, we had LTMs installed, and I came back and saw stuff, and I thought, what's going on? The businesses are dead, the pollution is dreadful in the area. And so nobody, when I stood for the local election last year, people were saying on the doorstep, we didn't vote for any of this. We were not consulted. There was nothing in the public domain, and they have the audacity to say we're going to do it whether you like it or not. No! Leadership, not liars! So I'm appealing to you today, folks. Use your vote. Get involved. I'm here at the interim leader of Freedom Alliance Party, and we're a political arm for the politically homeless. Please go out, use your vote. It's just one thing to do. Let them know that we say no, and we will not comply. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angela. Next up, we've got Peter. Now listen, in Hackney, Mayor Glanville reckons he's going to have 75% road closures. He's pioneered the road closures during the whole emergency legislation, shutting down roadblocks. Peter's been a campaigner since day one with our very good friend Noel, who stood as well in Hostilities when many people didn't know what was going on as it happened, when they were saying, well, this is it, they're going to shut people down, but they're not going to do that in all the areas. That's a bit mad, isn't it? Now they're coming right out, they're saying it's 75%, they're going to do 70% in Islington. We're joining people up together all round. We've got Haringey, Enfield, Islington, Hackney, Waltham Forest, working with people in Ealing, Hounslow, across the UK, across London, but also across all the anti-LTN challenges up and down the country. In the Midlands, in the North East and the North West, those challenging 15-minute neighbourhoods, clean air zones that are just being imposed on us, we're standing together. And Peter's been a great campaigner since day one, so a real man of applause to him.
How is everyone? Yeah, pretty much you summed up in one minute. Yeah, Hackney, Haringey, doesn't matter what borough you're in, it's all the same thing, it's all about control, it's about nothing else. It's all about money, how much we can get out of it. The LTNs, the ULEZ, are all one and the same thing, they're under no illusion. They can't do side streets, they can get everyone on the main road, they can kick tabs on them, and it makes it easy for them to have to put fewer cameras in. That's what it's all about. How do we fight that? Fight back, ignore it, ignore the fines, loads of different ways you can get involved. Be it tournament days, signs, you name it. You know, direct action, anything you can. We can't let these people in, we can't let them walk all over us. Enough is enough. You know, and the thing again, approve all these LTNs, so here's one for you. So Hackney Council approved 75% of roads they're going to say they're going to be LTNs. They did that, they approved it all behind closed doors with no prior public engagement. Now this is just happening, this is happening across the board. Yeah, countrywide, it's happening up in Leeds, everywhere now, Cambridge, Oxford, you name it. They think they can go ahead, at the end of the day these people work for us, not the other way around. Yeah, I think they often forget that. You know, this is a democracy last time I checked, not a dictatorship, so why are they running the place like a dictatorship? Enough is enough. This crap, it has to stop, this nonsense has to stop. You know, we have to fight back by any means necessary. And I mean any means necessary, I mean exactly that. Any means. Yeah, we'll be shady, we're not. Alright? But we can't let them do this. We cannot let them do this. We will not let them do this. We will come together as one. We will fight as one. This is how we get them out. We get Sadiq Khan out, we get them all out. You know, that's such a good idea. When you come and spend a day with us to come see us like yourself. You know, I've given countless times to countless councillors. I have
You know, I've given invitations to councillors, I've given invitations to MPs. Come and spend a day with me, come and sing things like for yourself. Do you think one of them got better to me? Of course not, because they don't want to be proved wrong. They don't want to have to face the music. They think they can do all of this and not have to answer to anyone. Well, it doesn't work like that. Enough is enough. Time to fight back. Time to take back our streets. Take back what's ours.
Thank you, Peter. Yes. Right. The last but one speaker. We've got a message as well from Leeds. We're running out of time because there's going to be a walk down the road, round the corner apparently. But we've got a message from Leeds, from Bev Lockwood. Because we're really on the timeline now. Bev Lockwood is another person who organised in a community. She got 70 people, she got all the councillors to come and meet her and the MPs. She's now standing in the election there as a local candidate, and she's organising locally to make her voices heard. Thank you, Bev, thank you to everyone in Leeds for your show of support and solidarity. Next up, we got Stephen Jackson. Many of you will know about Law or Fiction. They've done a great job in actually clarifying the difference between law, guidance, remember that one, and fiction. And he's going to say a few words to us now before we wrap up finally. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Yeah, just to be very quick, I need to tell you all you about what's happening in London, but those people who outside London, they should know it's happening there as well. I've just come up from Wales today. There's exactly the same situation, and what everyone needs to understand is that what happens here happens elsewhere, and it's happening just as fast, but we've got to wake up to it. And what we also need to wake up to is that it's for us, it's for you to make things happen and change. And what I know as a lawyer for the last few years is we cannot rely on the law and on the courts. The courts will move when the people move. So sing You Will Move Together, and that's what counts. The courts will move, don't turn the back on them. It's not a lost hope, but it's the people first. And that's what we have together. We start off in a basement about August 21, if that reminds me correctly. Just about 100 people or less, but it's grown. We've managed to stop the invasion of freedom. We've managed to put the mandate, hold it in its tracks, and that was back in 21, 22. We can do the same thing with ULEZ and the control of our cities and where we live. These are linked. Everything that Together has done has all got freedom at its centre. Freedom of speech, freedom and democracy, that's what's key. So, all we need now is for us to come together and join together. Look it up, togetherdeclaration.org. Everyone here, if you're not a member, sign up, join up, it's making things happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. So we're finishing up now. I'm going to ask Kingsley to wrap up with us. Everyone's coming back in the square. It's a big show. If you look at everyone, it's a fantastic day. We're going to go for a walk. The main message we're going to get across is we're not having it, Sadiq Khan. We're not having it. What are we saying, London? No to you. No to you. Can't hear you. What are we saying in London? No to you. And this is looking beautiful. Up and down the country we're challenging. Up and down the country we're challenging. We're having our voices heard together because we are the many and they are the few. We're going to get our friends, colleagues, neighbours, family, loved ones, even the people we disagree with, argue with them, discuss with them, get out and challenge, do it in your local neighbourhoods, as you've seen today where people are doing it. We're going to be doing much more of this. Remember, we're always better and stronger together. Join us as a member if you can. Wrapping up now is Kingsley Hamilton from Action on ULEZ, and then we'll just say a few words at the end. Thank you very much. Kingsley.
Some other people, Paula, lots of other people who've been doing so much stuff in the background. But what it boils down to is you. We can't do this without you. We could be up here and have no crowd and it'll be completely pointless. We don't just need you to come to protests. We need you to tell your friends what's going on. We need you to tell your friends what's happening. That's what this means. Together means we are together. We are one big team. We've got to fight together. So, what does this coffin mean? The reason I carry this coffin, consultation, meaningful democratic consultation, sadly passed away.
Now, a Labour politician called me far right for carrying that coffin. She said I'm far right because I'm carrying a coffin. She's completely missed the whole point. Democracy is dead if a consultation is ignored. Sadiq Khan said, you mustn't take down the cameras, you mustn't do criminal damage, you mustn't do all these things, you must follow the proper channels. But what are the proper channels? The proper channels, having a protest like we do today, that's great, putting our messages out there, and filling in that consultation. Those are the proper channels, but the trouble is, Mr. Khan, if you don't take any notice of the proper channels, like ignoring the consultation, or killing it off completely, people are going to get fed up. Are we fed up? Right, so we've got to fight together. Do you understand? We've got to fight together. It's no good to say, yes, I signed the petition, people to join you. You've got to get people to realise what's going on. This is so corrupt, it's disgraceful, it's disgusting. But we can't do it on our own. We need everybody to be together. We need everybody to spread the message. Now, people will say that I'm against clean air. Nonsense. My son has got PCD, which is a breathing disorder, and his lungs fill up with fluid periodically. I don't know if you've seen some of my videos, but I had to put him on machines periodically to get fluid out of his lungs. If I thought for 1 second ULEZ would make London's air cleaner, oh well, it'd be fantastic. But the fact is, it doesn't. It makes it worse. You've only got to go on the South Circular Road. Sorry, I've got too personal, so. You're only going to go on the South Circular Road and see the terrible traffic, all the people avoiding it. If those people were allowed to just drive directly where they need to go, that traffic jam wouldn't be there. Motorcycles should be exempt, but they're not. And the reason they're not is because they want their money. Motorcycles are cleaner than any car, and I don't care what anybody says, because a motorcycle's 10-minute journey takes 10 minutes. It takes 10 minutes because it goes from A to B and doesn't sit in traffic. You might have a car that's slightly less polluted than that motorcycle, but the point is that car will take 20 minutes less and it's maybe even an hour to get 2 or 3 miles. And why does it take 2 or 3, or maybe an hour to get 2 or 3 miles? Because the London's roads are absolutely... They are, excuse my language, London's roads are completely dumb and dutt. They are dumb and dutt because last 10th Street, there's a lovely cycle lane there, it's fantastic, not. You might get 10 or 15 cyclists to go through every minute, and that's great. And those 10 or 15 cyclists that go through every minute don't make up for the thousands of cars that are sitting there with their engines running because of the cycle lane. It's bullshit. Sorry,
it's really, the data's gone really slow.
But it's all very well us being here. There are 6 or 7 million people in London. We've got to spread the message. And it's not just London, as we've heard today. This is happening all over the country. Cambridge, Canterbury, Bath, Oxford, Glasgow, all these places, Birmingham. You know, Birmingham has stood up and they said, we're not paying. We're not paying to stop it. We're not paying. And that's great. But we've got to attack our politicians. We can't keep saying, oh, I'm not voting for that party, I'm not voting for this party. We've got to say, I'm not going to back the person I would normally back because the person I normally back is supporting ULEZ. So if you're a traditional Labour voter, you need to tell your Labour councillors, no, you need to get Sadiq Khan out, you need to get Chris Farmer out, because I'm abandoning you. And until you do that, they're going to keep doing it. Okay? If you've got a bully that keeps bullying you, and you let them get away with it, they'll keep bullying you. It's as simple as that. But you've got to explain to your friends and the people you know that this is not about clean air. Don't say it's about clean air, you're a tinfoil hat wearer and you're a COVID or anything else. Ignore that. It's not true, but you've got to explain why it's not true. You've got to explain that a 2001 little 1 litre car that's not compliant against a 5 litre car from 2018 that is compliant. It's nonsense, okay? It's not about emissions, it's about money. So, Sadiq Khan, we're going to wrap it up.
Is this louder? Can anyone hear better with this?
I think right. I'm going to wrap it up. The point I'm making is you need to talk to people. The army is not myself, Alan, and Phil. The army is you. You are the army. You've got to stand up. You've got to spread the message. Okay? Now, let's not share something. Can everybody say hey? Can everybody say who? you've got to tell everybody what is wrong. Because when someone says to you, you're against clean air, you need to point out the flaws in the ULEZ. It is a one-size-fits-all. It's literally, there's the line, if you're on that side, you're non-compliant, if you're on that side, you're compliant. That's not good enough. You've got to explain what the flaws and what's wrong with it. And it is okay to say, I disagree with this, because you're not far right. You're not far right just because you disagree with something. If you're saying this is all about clean air, you're saying that Sadiq Khan is the world's greatest clean air expert. He's not. He's talking out of his backside. I'm sorry. So, I'm going to wrap up now. Tell your friends this is not about clean air. Tell them this is about money. And it is about getting your money. It is about making you buy a new car when you don't need to. And it's all very well saying we just want to get more money in the scrappage scheme. The scrappage scheme is a waste of taxpayers' money. Scrapping cars that are perfectly good and perfectly usable and have got many, many miles on them. Let's not waste taxpayers' money. Because if we waste taxpayers' money, guess who's going to pay it? You! That's right, us, we've got to pay. So, spread the message, talk to your friends, use hashtags, tell them what's going on. This is going to happen. We're going to go into road user charging soon. Now, just quickly, the consultation, as we know, for ULEZ was ignored. The consultation for road user charging has only just been finished. It was finished on the 10th of March. Right? So, do you think he's going to ignore that? Of course he is, absolutely. So road user charging is coming. And don't think because you've got an electric car, I'm alright, Jack. We've made that mistake before. He's coming for every single penny for every single one of you. We've got to fight, we've got to spread this together. Fight together, hashtag together. Alright, big fight for Ella Miller. Right, also, there's a big convoy on the 4th of May. On the 4th of May, coming back into London, and as you there's a convoy, so please try and find about that on the Facebook groups, alright? I'm going to go for a little walk with my democracy coffin. You're welcome to follow me. It's not a march, it's a walk, officer. And if you follow me, I can't help that. Oh, give yourselves a big round of applause, everybody! Thank you for coming!
Brilliant, thank you, Quincy. Thank you, Sadiq. Thank you, Sophia. Well done, everyone. We're going to carry on. Let's keep putting the pressure on. Calls to action. Writing, phoning, emailing, going to the surgeries of your councillors and MPs. Getting meetings organised locally. Get involved, join together. Get involved, come down on the streets. Lobby, rally, protest. We are the many, they're the few. We're going to win this. We're going to free our streets. We're going to take back democracy together. We're launching a cabinet together. We've got big news coming up. More in Parliament soon. We love you all. Let's take to the streets. These are our streets. Whose streets are we? Our streets. Whose streets are we? Our streets. What do we say to you, guys? We'll see you on the march, Mr. Khan. Thank you very much, everyone. We love you. Thanks very much.